Hi guys, Nemo Dane here. Today we're going to take a look at the Kite Demo. I found an article up online and they're talking about to get it to run in a system that doesn't require such strong requirements. You can take the textures, pull them out, reduce their size. Like here, take the 8129s down to 2048s and so forth. So what I did was I got the kit down and we exported all the textures out. So simply following an example, what you would do is you go here and check textures, and this is going to list all the textures that we need to bring out. To get them out, you want to choose them by mass, right? At least two or more. Right click, and you want to bulk export. The reason you want to bulk export is when it exports it, what it's going to do, it's going to show the wrong one. Let me bring it back over here. It's going to keep the folder structure, because that's real important when you pull it back in, because you're going to want the structure where they're all saved. And when you do that bulk export, it puts them out. This is just a desktop folder that I have where the textures are, and then that puts them all in the right structure of the folders. Once they're out there, simply open them up in your, I use Paint Shop Pro, open them up in your whatever editor you're going to use, resize them at least 1/4%. So you want to use, here, let me pull my thing up. Here's the dimensions that I did. Any of the 8192s, I brought them down to 2048 and so forth. A couple of the 1024s, I left them like they were, or they were actually 2048s. What you do, you just want to look at them. The normal maps and such, I brought them down a little bit lower. But the regular maps, you can just leave them at a little bit higher resolution. So anyway, you'll probably want to write down these dimensions because there is a lot of textures to work with. And then once you have edited all your textures, you're ready to bring them back in. The only way I could get them back in successfully, which was a pain, was going here and importing. So basically I would uncheck the textures, and then I would have to go looking at, I do have another monitor. I would just have to look at the path structure over here. For example, I'd know I need to go to this structure, and then I would have to find it over here. So it would be like Kite Demo, characters, and then textures. And then I would simply have to import it from here, and there we go. I would go up there and pick up the folder that I needed and import them. It's slow, monotonous work. There might be, I tried to overwrite them, just batch write, that didn't work, but they got to be in the right folder. So once you get those in, let me straighten this out just a little bit. You're supposed to be able to run it. I did this yesterday, and I was able to do it. And if you look right here, you can see that what it takes to, they recommend at least 24 gigabytes of RAM, 6-core processor, GTX 980, and that's what they recommend minimum. I surpassed all these and I still couldn't get it to run. But now with the texture editor, it should be able to do it. Alright, I had the video paused while I jumped over to the main map that they tell you to load, GDC landscape. Now this is the main level of Kite Demo. As you can see, none of the terrain loads. The terrain's there, it's just turned off by default because it's using World Outliner. And you'll see right here, there's all the, I believe it's a 2x3 with an extra one. You can see the different chunks, as I would call them. So there's 3 this way, and then another 3, and then 1 more. But they're all turned off by default, and you would have to simply turn them on, or load them as they call it. And what you would do is you would just load it, and then that would load up the map, and then you would edit each one individually. And that's why it needed so much memory to load all these, because it has to load all the textures with that as well. And those 8192 textures are actually pretty good. And why is this taking so long? The new system, still slow, even though it's supposed to be faster. Alright, I'll pause while that loads real quick. Alright, there it's loaded. Come on, zoomy. Now you can see how big it is. It's huge. And there's the chunk that we just loaded up. They're all there. They're just not loaded on the screen, and they look really good. Now these are the reduced textures as opposed to what they originally had. So I've reduced at least by 1/4%. You could probably take them down a little bit more. Get a little bit of patterning there. Haven't really looked at the trees. I'm going too fast. Let's slow it down now just a little bit. I had this. All right, there we go. Yeah. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a test here. So let's unload that. I haven't made any changes. Just unload it there, buddy. Thank you. All right. Here we go. Cross your fingers and let's hit play. I've spent the better part of the day getting those textures moved over. The good thing about those textures, they're pretty high quality. A lot of them were shot with a camera. So if it's something that you should really think about getting because you can use them in your game. And there's any of the assets in here. I want to look at the how he manages the deer running around. Alright, while that's loading up, let's go ahead and pause the video. Alright, we're back. Even with this, I got a pretty good system now. It still took a little bit of time to upload. Here we are in the actual game world. This is the Kite Demo running around. I don't really know how to go from hovering to walking, but I see it. And it still looks pretty good. The textures have been reduced greatly. I don't know if this has a day or night cycle. I don't know how I would. Is there an escape button? Oh, there we go. Oh, that just stopped it. I'll have to look at the controls. Let's see if I can find them. Stand by. And we're back. Okay, it says to hit tab to toggle. There we go. Oh, now we're in walk mode. Here we go. Not really keen on motion blur. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. There's a look at the grass. Oh, I'm loving the textures and the way the grass is waving. I don't know what kind of trees they're using. If it's speed trees or not. I know they're billboarding. I have to see if some of those kits might actually work. Would be a good thing to test out. Look at the view distance there. That is tremendous, tremendous view. Oh, let's do a tilde. Let's get us frames per second. Oops. Come on now. Alright, 35. They're supposed to be capped at 40 in the demo, apparently, so they must have taken the cap out. I'm running a GTX 980. Little yellow line there. So you might could turn down some of the distance. We're getting a little, when you get in this little cove, we don't see the draw distance. I'm seeing about 30s. Still kind of low. If this was to be an actual playable world, what we need to do is let's get up here and see if I can. Wish it had a pause. I can't get my mouse out, can I? Nope. All right, let's look at the. See if there is a way to turn down the view distance. Point. I'll pause this while I look. Alright, I couldn't find nothing on adjusting the view distance. I'm sure there's something there. Probably have to go in the setting. So what I did is I did go full screen just to give you a full glimpse of it and see what it's like. There's the birds. Now, oh, those hills are impressive. Let's go over here and take a look at a few of the trees. See it looks like the clouds and light are actually moving around. Oh, they still look pretty good. I'll definitely post a link where you need to go. Oh, that's some good looking grass right there. The wind blew through. Where you need to go. Oh, let's turn the stat back on. Still only hitting about Yep, 30 frames a second. Definitely would have to be optimized if you really want to do multiplayer, but it's still possible. I'm just glad to get it running. Alright guys, there you go. Thought that would be something be interesting for y'all to check out. Definitely at least look at the materials. And with that, that's going to be a wrap on this video. And this is Nemo Day. Catch you later.